Welcome back. We're continuing our conversation today about politics and change. We're discussing my book, On Our Way to Paradise, and we are talking about the election system and specifically the problems that have come up in recent years when, surprisingly, at least to me, we had someone run for office and lose, and at the presidential level, and say he didn't think the election was fair. And I'm still surprised, whether not to offend anybody, but I'm surprised that people did not have confidence in our election system, and that years later, this video is being made in January of 2024. A remarkable number of people in the Republican Party, anyway, 30% or so, 40%, claim that they do not think that the election was counted fairly, and that they don't think that the Democratic candidate Joe Biden won. I'm astounded by that. I don't know if some of that is that they're on the spot or if they really mean that. But I'm disappointed that our country doesn't feel like, we are capable of doing a fair election. But I think I'm a little bit uniquely qualified to help address this because, I was in the political area for decades, and I was also in the business area for decades. I was in the computer business, and so I have a pretty good understanding of computers and electronics and how they might be able to help resolve this problem. And so I think the key factor that we want to have for each citizen is that for them to know that their vote was counted in the way that they cast it. And so there's one simple way to do that, and basically that's by numbering the ballots. And that would be very easy to do. For example, I'm from Georgia. I'm from rural Georgia. I'm sure you may be shocked to hear that. And so what you would do there is you would have a digit on the ballot. The first two digits would be 13 because the states at 1 through 50. Georgia's the 13th state. So Georgia would be 13. There's 128 counties in Georgia. So, whatever county you lived in, it would be numbered. We're 14, And so the first two digits, 13 and then 14. Inside our county, there are about 15 precincts, places to go vote, at a church or at a school or, a gymnasium, this kind of thing. And so, you would number those 1 through 15, so the next sets of digits would apply to that precinct. And then last, you would have what voter are you at that precinct for the day. And so, that would run in our county, somewhere between 1 and say 2,500. Some go as high as 2,500, something like that. And you would go and vote. You can vote in paper if you're a paper state, or you can vote on the computer if you're a computer state. But when it's run through the machine, that number would go with it. And when that number goes with it, that number is listed in a main computer, goes on the internet. It will tell you how that number voted. But that number is not attached to your name anywhere other than when you voted, you saw the number. They could have a little tab that pulls off that has the same number on it. You could take that home, and so you could look it up at that night when they get them all tabulated, or certainly the next day. You could go online and just punch that number in, and it would show you each candidate that you voted for. And so you would know that was right because you would see it on the computer. And there would be anonymity because no one would know your name or who you were other than you had the little sheet of paper there with a little tab that had your number on it. There is a possibility, of course, that people could go home and swap with their neighbors for the fun of it. But, I just don't think they're going to do that worldwide or countrywide or even countywide or anything. And so I believe that would be a way of resolving the problem. And, another advantage would be, you could vote for a week. It doesn't matter. You could vote on election day. You could vote a week ahead. It would always tabulate that vote. It could only be counted once, and it would always be accurate. And that's how I think that would resolve that problem. Let's make this 5 minutes into it. Let's just call this a short video. The next video, I have some very interesting ideas about the rest of the election and the voting season, because right now, why I think voting is probably, well, sure, voting is fair, but we can make it, we can show that it's fair. But we do have problems in our election system where it doesn't make any difference. And that I do see as a problem. We can vote now, doesn't, very rarely does it make a difference. And so that we would like to change. Stay tuned and please watch the next video.